Good evening. So, what's better than one book review? You get two this evening. Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King. This was one of the three books I have left, so now I have two books left from Stephen King to read to say I've read everything. This book was published in 1983. It's a short book. It has this particular Signet published edition has really cool illustrations by Bernie Wrightson. It's pretty cool color, and each chapter is based on a month, so you have really cool. It's a short read again. Like, I read this in an hour. That's one of the, definitely one of the pluses why I liked it. And it's one of the reasons I disliked it too. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. The summary of this book, really, the setting takes place in a place called Tarker's Mills, Maine. And basically how it's a story about a werewolf that's terrorizing a town. How King writes this book is basically each month of the year, based on a monthly full moon cycle. Each month has this little snippet of a story about this werewolf killing folks in this town. And so you're trying to figure out not only what's going on, who some of these people are, and which are kind of, the sub-characters, which are the main characters, which the main character really, it revolves around Marty Coslaw, and he is a handicapped young kid who has a family and lives in Tarker's Mills. Definitely a supporting character was his Uncle Al. And so basically, you're trying to figure out through these little snippets of these various people and the story about the werewolf killing various people, what's going on, and how this is, kind of going to be a story, because it's really kind of little monthly, and it's a really real small installments. And so that's kind of the summary. What I liked about the book was definitely the short installments were good, but it's also, as much as that is a pro, it's also a con that some of them are short. And I'll get to that in a minute. You don't really know who the killer is until, like, again, each month there's something happens and you're trying to figure out what's going on, what's this about. It's really not until like October, I think it was maybe August, September, October, somewhere in there, where you really understand who the killer is. Marty's sister, Katie, is a real bitch. I mean, I'm going to just be honest with you. Like, I was really taken back by that. I mean, I knew you have a very short book here. You have short chapters, so to speak. And so you can't really hem-haw around the character development or the settings. So, but her interaction with Marty, who you learn as you read this, is the main character. She's really, really rotten. Uncle Al was a favorite. I mean, he's definitely a supporting character. He's riding shotgun with Marty, so to speak. Helps him out a great deal. I really like that. Obviously, when the fireworks were canceled because of the murders in this town from, the werewolf, even though at the time in July they didn't really even deem it anything. They didn't know what was going on. And so Uncle Al pirates him some fireworks, even though his sister, or Marty's mom, is going to be pissed. And then towards the end, when Marty's aware of who it is and what's going on, he gets Uncle Al to hook him up and come over during New Year's, and so that they can deal with this werewolf. So again, it's a short read. I read this in an hour. It's enjoyable, but there are definitely some dislikes. The short stuff is nice, but at the same time, it's also not nice, in the sense, like, when you get the parts around Marty, and you're kind of coming to figuring out what's going on, who's the werewolf, what are they going to do about it. It's so short that you don't know. It's kind of muddled. It's just choppy, kind of. I thought some of the beginning months, because you're obviously starting in January, But the month when you had the cop and he's at the barbershop talking to other people, and he's like, he's going to figure out he doesn't need any state police help and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's definitely one of those old local boy things. He's going to, find it out and you can take it to the bank kind of thing. He's in the barbershop saying that to the local people in one moment, and then the next moment he's, parked in his police cruiser and it's a few hours later, it's nighttime, and then there's the werewolf and he, kills him. And so, which is very predictable. You knew that was going to happen. And so that was and I guess that's kind of like the other thing. At the beginning, you kind of knew when you were, let's talk about this guy who's, playing solitaire at this, guard post at this factory. He's dead. He's going to die. So there's no surprise element to it. So that was kind of a turnoff as well. Again, probably the last 20 pages of this book is really where the meat of everything is, and it's very good. I enjoyed that part, but the other part was just it was kind of one of those things like, thank God it's really short, because let's move on to another character and see if there's any substance there kind of thing. Definitely not my favorite King book. It definitely wouldn't be in the top, of his 80-some books, it wouldn't even be in the top half. It'd probably be closer to the bottom 10. But it's a short book, so that's the good thing about it, is I don't have to I wasn't in misery forever, so to speak. I'm glad I read it though. Again, my OCD trying to read through everything of his library. Now I have, 2 chunkers that I got to figure out when I want to tackle those as I continue to procrastinate. I've got Lazy Story and Sleeping Beauties. So comment in the comments if you think I should tackle one before the other. I've heard mixed reviews. The funny thing is that King says Lazy Story is his favorite book that he's written. But again, it's got very mixed reviews, and Sleeping Beauties is usually, there's a few people like it, and the majority of people hate it. So anyways, again, that's a review. Stephen King, Cycle of the Werewolf, 3.0 out of 5. Hope you're having a great evening.